Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel and the Gardener Gains. Yes, right, welcome back. Gonna go through my 3 favourite exercises to build bigger legs. Exercise 1 is the squat. I feel like it's a must-do exercise, and again, just gonna cover 3 basic leg exercises you can do in every gym. Hopefully in your garage gym, in your garden gym, in the basement. So yeah, just keeping it basic, simple, 3 exercises. Starting off with standard barbell squat. You can do low bar, high bar. I'm just going to demonstrate high bar because I feel like that's a better way to build the legs. It's harder on your core and on the legs, and you can't lift as much weight, so you've got to control it more. Anyway, I'm going to perform it and talk a bit more. Well, as you can see, that's how I would perform the squat. High bar, it hits the quads slightly more than a low bar squat. Low bar you can use for a strength phase to lift more weight with low bar, which engages more lower back, hips, glutes, hamstrings. This one still hits all those muscles, but a little bit more quad dominant. I prefer, to build bigger legs. A slower eccentric, 3-4 seconds down, a slight pause in the hole, and then power up. Like I said, I performed these but on a safety bar, so you can still do it on a safety bar, very similar to a high bar squat. Again, I performed these a lot during my bodybuilding prep, and I found this to really sort of grow the legs. Again, you want sort of 5-6 working sets, and probably 8+ reps. If you can do 3 sets of 8, 10, 12, and then chuck in a set of 15 and a set of 20, even a set of 30 is destroys the legs, and get some growth going there. So yeah, squat is my go-to for legs, to build bigger legs, because it hits the entirety of your leg. It's not just isolated to one muscle, it's all your bottom half and even some of your back and upper body as well. Core to brace. So yeah, just keep feet shoulder width, toes pointed out. Everyone's a little bit different, but standard, feet shoulder width apart, slightly pointed toes, and go for it. Big deep breath, brace, push into the belt, push out, and squat. The deeper the better, so it will engage more muscles, the deeper you go, and it's just harder and it recruits more muscle mass. So yeah, my favourite exercise to build bigger legs. Right, I'm going to move on to for my next favourite exercise. It's going to be the barbell stiff leg deadlifts, RDLs, whichever one you want to call it. And that builds the hamstrings. Let's go. Right, on to the next exercise, my favourite exercise for hamstrings and glutes, RDLs, Romanian deadlifts. Just barbell again, basic as always. I'm wearing a weightlifting shoe. I forgot to mention that in the squats previous. I recommend a weightlifting shoe, slight heel, and it focuses and targets more of the quads when you're squatting. And then if you want to build more power and strength, I'd suggest a flat shoe or barefoot. But yeah, I've got these on, and this gives me a slight, a higher advantage on this lift, and gives a slight deficit, so I can have a longer eccentric on this lift. I'm going to wear some straps, just make it as easy as possible. Not worried about grip on this. And yeah, just going to perform this and talk a bit about it. Yeah, nice and simple. Again, basic movement. Feet, shoulder width apart again. A nice, slow, eccentric, keeping the bar as close to the body as possible, to your thighs, your knee, your shins. And then a little bit of a pause, and then power up. But yeah, nice 3-4 second eccentric. Really push the hips and the butt out to really get a good stretch, good squeeze on the hamstrings and the glutes. Again, perform these a lot during my bodybuilding prep, and it certainly grew the hamstrings well. You can also stand on some bumper plates or block, whatever you've got. I use paving slabs at times just to raise you off the floor more, to give you more of a deeper eccentric, really stretching the hamstrings out. But again, if you've got the weightlifting shoe, you're already on a slight platform anyway. So that's my second exercise for legs. My go-to exercise is nice and basic as always, and simple to do. Any gym you can do it. If you've got, like I said before, basement garage gym, you can perform this. Again, 4 or 5 working sets with this, because it's quite a, like the squats, it's like a bit of a compound movement. So yeah, 4 or 5 sets of this, and again 6 sort of plus reps to build the muscle up. I like to pause with it as well. You can play around with the rest times, but again, yeah, keep these 6+ reps. If you can keep it sort of 10 to 12 rep range, you can get these hammies growing and the glutes growing well. Right, that's that. I'm going to move on to the next exercise. Come on. Right, on to this last exercise for legs. We've covered squats, we've covered the RDLs, that's hit all the legs and the glutes, the quads, the hammies. Now we're going to hit some calves, keeping it basic as always. So a simple setup, barbell and some weight plates on the floor, and yeah, just perform the calf raise. Again, you can do this with dumbbells in each hand and just on your tippy toes, or sometimes I like to just do body weight but go up the stairs, all up each step, and do 10 squats on each step. So basic and simple as always. This is what it's about, this little series of exercises for muscle groups and that. So yeah, just going to keep it basic. So I'm going to perform this so you can get a rough idea how it works. Yeah, nice and basic and simple that. Yeah, I mean, it's probably easier with a safety bar, but not everyone's got that. Not every gym has a safety bar, so you can still do it with a barbell or in a Smith machine. Like I said, you can do it single leg as well, holding dumbbells. So there's little ways around it, but I'm doing it like this, nice and basic and simple. Again, keeping the reps high on these, build up the weight, so you're lifting pretty heavy but keeping it 10, 12, 15 rep range, and again as many sets as you can get in. calves, you know, quite a small muscle group. They recover fairly quickly. So yeah, if you can get 5 to 10 sets in, if you can train calves twice a week, I recommend that as well. Maybe one heavier session, keeping the reps around 10, 12, and then a lighter session again, keeping the reps up at 15 and 20 for more sets. So yeah, keeping it basic as always. 3 of my favourite exercises to build muscle for legs. I may cover like just quads, hamstring, calves differently on a separate one video, but we'll see. But again, 3 of my favourite go-tos to build muscle. Happy days. Stay strong everyone, catch you in the next one.